The alcoholism days are pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Austin.
No, I want to start drinking again, just so I can make those kind of decisions. Man, I got pulled over one time. I had to like fly back to see my family for Christmas. It was the day before Christmas Eve, and I went out to a bar with like Joe Stats, and I had like 9 beers. And me and Jake had fought the night prior to that, so I had like a giant black eye. And I had 9 beers, and then I took a beer. Somehow they just let me take a beer with me from the bar, which is not, I don't know. So I'm driving, and Joe's trashed too, and I'm like, I have like a tall boy on my lap. And then I pass by this cop, and I'm like, immediately I'm like, fuck, shit, fuck, you're a cop, fuck. And then the cop's following me. I'm like, shit. And then I like, there's a red light, and I like pull halfway into it, like while the light's still red. And I'm just like fucking up. I'm like, God damn it. And then Joe's like, just take a left here, take a left here. And he's like, you know, in my ear, and light turns green. I turn left. I've turned left onto like a divided highway. So I'm like going the wrong way down the divided highway. And Joe's like, just jump the curb, just jump the curb. And I'm like, no, man. I'm like, I'm fucked, you know. So I'm like, I'm going to jail, and I fucking just pull off in the first side street. I put my hazards on, and I'm like, I can't believe this, dude.
Wait, the cop lit you?
I pulled over first before he could light me because I had fucked up. So I put my emergencies on. I just pulled over, and I was waiting for him. And then, I threw the hazards on. I'm like, I'm going to jail. I'm fucking going to jail. But then the cop pulled up behind me and threw the hazards on. And then, like, somehow he comes to the window. I'm like, I can't believe this shit. And I roll down the window, and the cop's like, hey, how you doing tonight? I'm like, yeah, I'm real sorry about that. And then, like, me and Joe were just, first of all, a lot of it is just white privilege. But, like, immediately I was like, yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm driving him home. He's giving me directions, and he's fucking trashed, or whatever. Yeah. And Joe's, like, screaming already, He's, like, just hamming up how drunk he is or whatever. Cool. And I had given the beer in my lap to Joe beforehand. He just poured it on himself and crammed it under the seat. So the cop's like, okay, so you know why you're pulled over? I'm like, yeah, obviously. He's driving the wrong way down the thing. He's like, okay. He's like, have you been drinking tonight? And I was like, I had, like, 2 beers, I was like, I had one with, like, dinner and then another one, just right before we left the bar. But I'm not like drunk or anything. He's like, okay, well, can you get out of the car just so I can make sure all that smell is coming from him? I was like, yeah, sure. And then still in my head, I'm like, I'm going to jail.
Yeah.
And so the cop brings me around behind the car, and he's like, just hang tight for a second. And then he like talks.
Just goes and just beats the shit out of you.
Yeah.
I'm going to whoop your drunkard friend.
Yeah. So they talk to Joe, and they come back over to me, and the cop looked just like David Bowie.
Oh, weird.
He looked like a Jack David Bowie.
Yeah.
Like a cop David Bowie.
He's like Major Tom, the ground control.
Yeah. We've got a couple of black guys wandering around the back of the bank.
Young Americans. They were black and they were driving.
And they deserved it. So this cop looked just like David Bowie, and like drunk part of my mind is like, tell him he looks like David Bowie. He'll think that's like cool. You'll ingratiate yourself to the cop. He's gonna be like, oh, for real, man?
I love the Star Child.
Yeah. Luckily I didn't. He was like, okay, like I do smell alcohol. And he's like, you only had 2 drinks, and he's like, are you telling the truth? And I was like, yeah, it was 2. It was like 1 with dinner and then 1 just now. He's like, okay. He's like, I do smell a little alcohol in your breath. I don't think you're lying to me. If you'd said you hadn't been drinking, then we'd have a fucking issue. But, he's like, I'm going to let it slide. So he's like, what you want to do? And he, like, brings me back to my car, and he's like, you just go around here, take a right, and then, make sure you get on the right side of the road, coming around. I'm like, all right, thanks, and then I'm, like, just sitting there with Joe. I'm like, holy fucking shit, I can't believe that worked. And as I was saying that, the cop was like, he was back at the window. He's like, yeah, you forgot your ID. And I was like, thanks, man. Yeah. And I really have no idea how I got out of that one.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
I was, when I was 17, we did mushrooms.
Yeah.
Me and my buddy did mushrooms, and we ran out of cigarettes. We just ate the mushrooms. We were like, we're going to need cigarettes. Because when I used to trip in high school, I used to love to smoke. Like 2 packs.
You must have been cool as hell.
Oh, dude, I was so much pussy. Actually, I wasn't. I had sex once in high school, and that was it. But
nice, dude.
Dry fucked a lot. So
yeah, I came in my pants a lot. We figured out that's what first base is. It's a walk if you come in your pants.
Oh yeah, I walked.
It's a walk. Yeah.
I walked a lot.
I didn't fuck at all.
But we So we ate. We both ate an eighth of mushrooms, but I ate mine first, like probably 30 minutes before he did. And I ate it, and then he came over and ate his. And I was like, "Yo, we gotta go get cigarettes." And he's like, "All right," but his mom dropped him off. He's like, "I don't have a car." I was like, "Drive my car. Drive my car. And we'll go get cigarettes." He's like, "All right." So we're taking like this back way.
Yeah.
Something. And I'm like, "Oh, I'll take it right here." And he runs a red light, like barely runs a red light. Fucking cop right behind us. We're like, "Fuck." Pull us over. That's how I knew the mushrooms started working, because the red and blue lights on the inside of my car, and this is like dusk, so it's just starting to get dark, and it's like they were like hitting each other, and I was like, "Oh man, oh man," and he's like freaking out. My buddy Mike's like, "I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do."
Right.
I'm like, "Just wait." So it's a lady police officer comes to the door. I'm like, "Miss, officer, I'm so sorry. This is my car. I'm planning on drinking tonight, and so I wanted my friend to drive it just so I can make sure when I was sober that he could." And I was just like mushroom talking.
Yeah.
She's like, and she's like, "Okay, can I see both of your licenses?" And I was like, yeah. We both give her our license, and she's like, "Okay." And then goes back, and we're melting down. Mike and I are melting down. I'm like, "Dude, I can't go to jail on fucking mushrooms. I'm gonna fucking die in there. I can't do it." And he's like, "Dude, it'll be all right, man. I don't know. Like, they're gonna take my license. Like, she better not look at my pupils." We're waiting for like 5 minutes. It's starting to get fucking pretty. Like, what are they doing? Are they calling for backup?
Right. Yeah.
You just don't know, because
Yeah,
you're selling
yeah.
mushrooms. And she comes back, and she just hands us both of our licenses, and she goes, "You boys are having the luckiest day of your life. There was a shooting that we need to report to, so you guys are good to go."
Get out of here.
Like, he drove away, and I was like, "Oh, fuck."
I'm so glad that 4-year-old got shot to
Yeah.
death.
It's apparently there was something at the Batman movie. You're like, thank you.
Aurora, baby.
A town.
Yeah, that's what it's known for.
Yeah.
It's James Holmes.
Yeah, James Holmes, who's, by the way, not even from Aurora. He's from San Diego.
Oh, why was he there? Just for the shooting?
You would rather?
No.
Yeah. He heard it was a really nice shooting theater.
He's like, "I heard the acoustics is awesome. The bounce off a sawed off. Really, I want to do my live album."
You
in
ever see
Aurora.
those? You ever see those theater chains that are? It's like, I think they're called Tinseltown, and they got this
that's
like
always great.
stupid. They have them in Texas. These like ridiculous movie theaters with this fucking,
I like to think of it like shooters do shootings like they're doing an album. It's
Yeah.
like, "Where are you going to do your mass shooting?" He's like, "I was thinking about Santa Barbara, but I feel like that's hack.
Yeah.
I want to do Colorado. Like, a lot of good shootings there."
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's like Columbine's the classic. Dude, how am I going to outdo Columbine? I don't know.
But
What
it's not
do
about
you
outdoing it. It's about doing your own thing with it. It's like playing with it,
Maybe dress up like the Joker.
Yeah.
That's what's so funny.